guys, I'm Eniz, and in this video I'm gonna show you how you can use the aiming-servo with the RC blocks. As you can see, this is an RC missile. Here is myself. I'm controlling this with only my mouse. I have my hand on the spacebar for thrust, but if I move my mouse, it follows it, and I have no other inputs to input, I guess. So for this tuto, I'm gonna make a missile, but you can use it to make a missile, of course. Some cars, I guess you could make planes. You can really make anything. You can make tanks. Yeah, heck yeah, you could just use that to make tanks with mouse aiming, of course, but you will need some logic, so it will be a bit bulky of a tank, but it would work, I guess. So yeah, let's get into it. So the idea is that the missile sends a signal to the base and says, hey, I'm looking this way, is that good? And then the base compares this signal to where you're looking right now. It does some math, and then it will send another signal saying, no, you're not on the right track, move this way, or just, yes, you're good, don't move. That's it. Okay, now, let me introduce you to the holy slab, which is the thing I always use to make stuff with logic or anything. Just slap a seat, and then you're good to go. So, the first step is to detect where you're looking, where the missile is looking, and then do some math to give you an output that you can send straight to the missile. We'll start by making the yaw axis logic first, and then we'll keep everything on the slab for now. And then we'll transfer to the missile what needs to be on the missile. Now, how do you know which way you're looking? That's easy. Just put a compass on an aiming-servo, set the width to 360 degrees, the output mode to measurement, and link it to a number display. We'll paint all of this red. This will be the leading compass. Now you can see that the number display outputs a signal that is basically the direction you're looking at. And now we need to know what direction the missile is looking. And for that, it's super simple. Just add another compass, same settings, but on the 0 strength rotating servo. We'll paint this yellow, and this will be the following compass. I forgot to mention it, but the following compass is the part that's gonna be on the missile, but it's easier to test the logic on the slab first, and when everything works, we'll put it on the missile. Anyways, back to building. Now you might realize, when I look in the same direction as my missile, the two values are the same. So to calculate the movement the following compass should perform to follow the leading compass, you just have to subtract one value from the other. To do that, just set the output value of the leading compass to -1 and link the two compasses in the same number display. Then just add a temporary gyro on the following compass and link the number display to that gyro. Now, as you can see, when I move my camera, the following gyro follows it. But now, you might be wondering, good, so it's working, that's all I need, right? Well, yes and no. Although this works most of the time, due to the fact that the compass's output values are between 180 and -180, when I cross that 180 or -180 gap line, I guess, the following compass does a full loop in the wrong direction. That weird line is what I like to call an anomaly, because even though it makes sense, that value is not what we're looking for, so we'll have to find a way to fix that. So, to fix that anomaly, my idea was to double the whole system and rotate the compasses to not have the same output and not have the anomaly at the same time. Here you can see in blue the second leading compass, and in green the second following compass. By using the same logic as before, we can see that the final values are the same on both systems, except of course when I hit an anomaly. Before we continue, I'm gonna combine those two systems. I'm not touching the logic, I'm just regrouping the two leading compasses and the two following compasses together. Anyways, I don't know if you noticed, but since the anomaly only happens when the leading compass crosses the 180 or -180 line, the system where the leading compass's value is closest to 0 will never have an anomaly. And we can use that to select which system to follow. To do that, I'm gonna place two functions logic gates, one for each compasses, and I will set the functions to absolute. What this does is that it removes the negative sign if there is one. For example, a value of -10 will become 10 and a value of 10 will stay 10 because there is no negative sign to remove. So now we have two positive values, but remember, we are looking for the value that's closest to 0. So to do that, we can just subtract one value from another and see if the result is positive or negative. We'll just add the multiplication gate set to -1 to one of the values and add them both in a number display. That value can now be compared in a comparison logic gate set to less than and threshold 0. So now we know what system to listen to. If the comparison gate triggers, then we should listen to the orange system. And if it doesn't, then we should listen to the cyan system. Now, to actually switch the system we're listening to, we need what I call a block gate, because it can either block a signal or let it go through. It's basically just an aggregate gate set to products, so you can have the value you want to block or let through, and another gate that works in binary, either 1 or 0, so that the first input gets multiplied by either 1, which means that it passes, or 0 doesn't pass, because if you multiply something by 1, well, it just makes the same thing. If you multiply something by 0, well, it just equals 0. And to implement this to our logic, we just have to link the orange number display to one of those block gates and link the comparison gate to the same block gate. And then link the cyan number display to another block gate. And simply set up a simple NOR gate so that we can also have a reverse signal to put in the cyan block gate. Once you have both block gates set up, you can pour both of their outputs onto one final number display that you can link to the gyro. Just make sure that the gyro is not connected to anything else. Okay, I think this is where some people might realize that it's not working and that they have no idea how to fix it because it's a bit too complex. If anyone has any issues or questions, my Discord DMs are open. Either look for Eniz in the TrailMakers Discord or just look in the description for my full Discord username. Okay, back to the logic. And now that we have the logic working, we can copy and paste it to the pitch axis. All you need is a wall to put the 4 compasses and to switch the compasses with angle sensors because they're vertical, of course. Don't forget to set the width to 360 degrees, the output mode to measurement, rotate the blue and green angle sensors 180 degrees, and set both leading angle sensors to output -1. Don't either forget to rebind all the connections, because the copy and paste should have unlinked everything. Just follow the pipe and link the final output to the gyro and it should be fine. And the last thing is to rotate the aiming-servo so that it's pointing where you're looking and not straight up. Great! Now that everything works, just save the slab so you don't lose your progress and we can move to the missile. For the missile, you can do whatever you want, but here is how I do it. First, I start with the engine. I like to use propellers because they have a pretty good top speed, and to connect them, I just use flat connectors. Then I will add the RC blocks. You'll need at least 4 radio senders and at least 2 radio receivers. But I also have 1 for thrust, 1 for camera, and 1 for dynamite, so that's 5 in total. Then you can save your missile and load the slab, and press no keep my blocks. So now that you have both the missile and the slab on the same build bubble, you can simply move your following compass and angle sensors to the rocket. Make sure you don't rotate them. If you rotate them, it will break. Now, it's time to link everything to its corresponding RC block. Just place 1 receiver next to each number display on the slab, and 1 sender to the 2 final outputs. I personally like to count down from 31 when the signal is going from the missile to the slab, and count up when the signal goes from the slab to the missile. I'll also put 2 more senders on the slab, 1 for the propellers and 1 for the camera. Oh, speaking of cameras, I guess I forgot to add one, so let me just slap it right here and there we go. Now we just need to get all the connections in the missile. As you can see, I've already made some color coding on the radio receivers and the radio senders right here. So all I have to do is go here, choose an input, I mean a channel, and then just copy the same here. So the yellow is channel 31, so I will go to yellow, channel 31. Then just look at every one of them. So green is 30, I will go to green and channel 30. Now just do the same for every gate. and then just link the angle sensors to the corresponding radio senders. Just like that. And then we also have to connect the outputs or the inputs, like the radio receivers. The channel 0 will be my thrust. Channel 1 will be camera block. And that's it. Okay, my bad, I forgot 3 things in the script. First is to add tail fins to stabilize the missile and to prevent it from drifting. Second is to add a simple roll stabilizer. You can just use a gyro stabilizer, it's fine. And the third thing is to add a sinusoid gate between the final output and the radio sender. The reason I kept the steering method to the end of the vid is because I thought there was multiple ways of doing so, and that it would be easier to explain at the end. But I just found a method that's better than the others, so I'm just gonna show you this one. The first thing we're gonna do is add 2 gyros, but I'm gonna add 4 to fill the gaps. This will help with finer controls and lower speed flights. Then, if you want to add dynamite, do it now, and simply add this structure to the front. The steering hinges are set to max speed and linear, and make sure that the hinges are turning the same way as the gyros. Then, simply dupe this structure to all sides of the rocket. And again, make sure their hinges are facing the same way as the gyros. Those oars are just here to give you more control at higher speeds. And now, simply link the receivers to both the gyros and the hinges. To link them properly, you can check in the slab which channel controls which axis. And if your controllers are reversed, just flip the gyros or hinges. And now you have a working missile. Great! But there is 2 more things I want to show you before I end the vid. First, just slap a small wing somewhere so that you can see the center of drag. If the center of drag is too far to the back, just add some paddles to the front. We want the center of drag to be just behind the center of mass. That will help us turn sharper at higher speeds. And second, a working missile is always fun. But have you ever tried a supersonic missile? Well, you should. Just zero drag it. It's fun. Trust me. Okay guys, now you have a working RC mouse aiming missile in TrailMakers. Hope you like it. This is of course by no means perfect. It's my second ever missile with this kind of tech. I think it's good enough so that it's a solid base, so I'm still making a tutorial out of it, but you could definitely make it better. Like as you can see, I'm wobbling a bit when I'm like moving like this. If I do a full 360, as you can see, sometimes it won't move super fast because of the sinusoid gates. But yeah, other than that, I think it's pretty decent. Like it works. If you had any issues or if something is badly explained, please let me know in the comments or on Discord. I don't have that many followers, I guess. I'm not overwhelmed with comments and questions, so I will answer. So yeah, just let me know if something is unclear or if it doesn't work. And if you just don't want to spend time thinking about the logic, you can always download them from the workshop. Look in the description for the exact names, because I don't know yet, but something along the lines of Eniz's tuto missile, I guess. Eniz's, that's stupid. And yeah, I guess thanks for watching and see you next time, I guess.